Hello. In this video we're going to be taking a look at part 3 of the Reading and Use of English paper for the Cambridge First for Schools exam. Part 3 is called word formation, and it's a relatively quick task for most people, but you have to be careful not to go too quickly or you could lose some points unnecessarily. That's a good example of the word formation. We start with the word necessary, which is an adjective. We make it negative by putting "un" at the beginning, and then we use it as an adverb by changing it to ly at the end. So from necessary, we get unnecessarily. And that's an example of what happens in the word formation. You have a short text with several gaps, and for each gap you're given a key word. You need to change that word to fit the gap. So how do you do it? Well, this is a test of your knowledge of word formation, how words are built. So you'll be tested on your knowledge of what we call affixes. Prefixes that go before the word, like "un" in unnecessary, and suffixes which go at the end, like the ly used in the word unnecessarily. You'll also need to pay attention to the text. Remember that this is the reading and use of English paper. Your reading skills are always being tested as well. What I mean is that if you don't read the text and understand how the sentence works, you won't be able to get the right answer. You might tell that a gap requires a noun, and you can usually see because you'll find an article like a or the. But if you don't read the sentence, you might not know when it says the if you need a general noun or a plural noun. You have to understand the sentence. Likewise, for verbs, adjectives and adverbs, you might not know that you need a negative form of the word unless you read very carefully and see what the idea is of the sentence. So these are the most important things to pay attention to. Also pay attention to your spelling. Think about the changes that happen to the word both at the edges but also inside the word. Cambridge particularly like words like long and strong that change to length and strength when you move to the noun. So be careful about those sort of things. And as always, for this part of the exam, write your answers in capital letters in pencil on the answer sheet. Okay, so when you're ready, follow the link in the description to this video or use the same PDF we've been using so far. We're still on page 22 for the Reading and Use of English Part 3. The title of this task is called A Book of World Records. So as you go through, think about what kind of word needs to go in each space. Is it a noun, verb, adjective or adverb? And think about the form it needs. Does it need to be singular or plural for a noun? Positive or negative in meaning? Then write the word, come back when you're ready and we'll have a look at the answers together. Okay, let's have a look together at the words. Number 17 needs to be a noun, and it needs to be singular. We can see this because it says it contains a of facts. The noun from collect is collection. For number 18, we want an adjective, and it needs to be a positive adjective. We have the word features. Natural features is a noun phrase, so we need an adjective to describe it. From impress, we get the word impressive. We're talking positively about this book, so in number 19, when we need an adjective, we again need it to be a positive adjective. We're describing the word source. From rely, we have reliable. Be careful of the spelling. We have able at the end because you can rely on this book, but from rely to reliable, we change the Y to an I. Then in number 20, we again want a noun. We say the, So we want truth. True goes to truth to form the noun. For number 21, we again want a noun. We know it's singular because it's an, and then the noun. From argue, we have argument, but remember we lose the E at the end of argue. Then we find that in number 22, we want an adjective. Now here you need to be careful because the sense of this clause as a whole is negative, but in English, we don't use double negatives. In some other languages, for example Polish, double negatives are used to express a negative meaning. For example, nigdy nie byłem means I never wasn't there, for example. Forgive me if I've got the translation wrong. Polish is not really my strong suit. But in English, we only have one negative in a clause to give an overall negative. If we look back, it says, found that none of the books in his library. So that already is negative, so the adjective we want is going to be positive. From help, we get helpful. But be careful of the spelling, there's only one L in words that end in full, unless you go to the adverb. For example, helpfully will have two L's. So be careful of these little spelling rules in English. For number 23, we want an adjective, and again it's positive because the sense of the sentence is positive. From commerce, we have the word commercial. Notice that the E disappears. And finally, in number 24, we can understand from the sentence that we're talking about something different. If it's different, sword swallowing, for example, then we want the adjective unconventional. So all we need is the prefix un to make this word negative. And that's it. That's what you need to do for the word formation task. Be careful with your spelling. Think about the sentence and its meaning. And good luck. Next time we're going to look at part 4, the keyword transformation. I hope you'll join me then.